Okay, hello, hello, do you hear me? Even in the back seats, right? You hear me well? Great, I see David. Hi, David. Okay, I'm thrilled to be here, to stand here and to have an opportunity to share with you how Rohlik delivers the quality software. It was about 1 year ago, we decided to change the approach from the traditional model to the something more effective. It's called being the shift left, right? It's a buzzword many of you heard in the last 2 years. And we discussed about this topic a lot during the testing leaders breakfast, which is also organized by Tesena. And after 2 hours of discussion, we were still in the start. So we agreed with Phil that this should be a pretty good topic also for this audience. And I hope you will enjoy our ride in Rohlik Group, how we are trying to change the approach, right? First of all, I want to thanks to Tesena for organizing this conference. It's my favorite conference, the best one. Maybe a little bit of applause for Tesena again, right? To be honest, it's the only conference I've ever been to, so it's not a big deal to be #1 in my list, right? The second one, I want to personally thanks to Phil because I'm not for inviting me. I'm not a professional speaker. I'm a test manager, so he takes a risk on his back. I hope I will not fail. Let's say. Okay, let's start with the first slide. It's about me, so you get to know me a little bit. In 2004, 5 key things happened. The last series of Threads was introduced in TV. We lost the semifinals against Greece in the football. I thought we were better. The Facebook was launched. Right, and if you were rich enough, you could buy the wonderful handset, the Motorola Razr V3. I hope you remember these times. And in these prehistoric ages, I quit with the chemistry and started to work in IT. You can see that in these days, I had a hair. Through the years, I've become head of QA in O2 Czech Republic. It was something around the year 2012. I started as a junior tester, and through all of the positions, like a test analyst and so on, I became to be a head of QA. And after 4 years, so 4 great years being a head of QA in O2, I started to miss the daily bread, the daily operative bread on a project. So I quit with the job in line management, in department management, and I started to be a consultant. I've worked in a lot of companies on a lot of interesting projects, and after a few years on the projects, I realized that I'm again missing something. I'm again missing building of some strategy, building of some departments. So currently I'm the humble servant in the Rohlik Group. Currently acting as a head of QA, right? And also in the last 3 months, I'm acting as a IT delivery manager. That means that I'm a supervisor for the project managers and for the agile coaches in the Rohlik Group. So I have, let's say, two roles in the Rohlik. And it's being quite right. So this was about me. If you are interested in me personally, let's ask me in the backstage. We could talk. Next slide is about the introduction of Rohlik Group. But I think it's not needed to introduce the Rohlik Group. Who do shopping with the Rohlik Group? Only? What about the rest? Sorry? It's not in Slovak, right? I will tell Tom Chuper to immediately go to the Slovakian market, right? Okay, just a small introduction about Rohlik. It's a European e-grocery retailer operating in 5 countries currently. We have also some small share in Bulgaria, eBag. The company is quite rapidly growing. The number of orders growth per year is something about 40%. So it's really a dynamic company. Instead of telling you what you can read on web, I would rather tell you what I love on Rohlik. The first thing is that I love food and I hate shopping. So for me, definitely the Rohlik is a love brand, right? And it's fantastic when you are working on some application, on some product you love to use. It's a little bit different if you are working, for example, if you are working in a bank or in a telco. You simply need to use the application, right? You don't love the, or maybe you loved to look in your bank account and the balance, but I think you just simply need to use it. Rohlik, I personally love to use the application, so it's wonderful to be here and to be a part of the team who creating the application, right? The second thing I really like and love on Rohlik is our key ingredients. In most of the companies I've been in a lot of companies in Prague and in Czech Republic, there was some motto of the company, how to behave, how to act. But obviously it was a little bit something like a HR motto, how you should act. But most of the team even didn't know the mottos of the company, right? In Rohlik Group, Tom Chuper personally wants us to know all the ingredients, and every time you do anything in the company, act according to it, right? It's been for QA, it's a challenge, right? Because one of the ingredients is amaze the customer, and the second one is move quickly. It's totally against, right? But it's a challenge. You need to accept it. The third ingredient, which is really nice on Rohlik, is be radically open and transparent. This is something wonderful. In Rohlik, you are just going straightly to the heart of the matter of the things. You don't use diplomatic words. You're just going to the heart of the matter, and it's fantastic. Most of the meetings are really effective and are done within 5 minutes because you are not stuck with the small talks in the beginning, right? So this was about the, let's say, introduction of the Rohlik Group and a few information about our IT department and about QA. Yeah, we have an in-house development. This is again something what I really love. I've never been in a company who have only the in-house development. It's a great due to the velocity of the development. Yeah. You simply don't need to wait 1 week when your vendor gives you change one line of code. You simply have it after you write to your developer via Slack. You have it in 5 minutes if he has time. So in-house development is something wonderful. We have something about 70, 80 developers and 20 testers, right? We have 5 main domains. It's ordering, the web application and the mobile application. We have a warehouse. It's another great domain where the goods are being picked to the bags and going to the expedition. It's the fulfillment center, right? We have a logistic, of course. It's our own solution for the logistic. We have a commercials. It means it's a pricing. Maybe if those of you who are using Rohlik, you can see when you are browsing the mobile app that it will send you a message that we are currently changing the prices. So we have online pricing, online competitive pricing with another vendors, with another, let's say, retailers, e-grocery, and we check the price every few minutes and trying to give you the best price we could do. Yeah. Of course, we have some finance part, we have some BI, and we have machine learning, right? It's the main domains in Rohlik. We have Agile, and again, it's something I've never met before. When I was in, let's say, T-Mobile or other corporate-style companies, there was some let's say, tryings of being an Agile, but it was always a corporate, let's say, hybrid of Agile, and it wasn't working at all, right? In Rohlik, there is a real pure Agile. We used to use the sprints, but something about 9 months ago, we are switching to from Scrum to Shape Up. I don't know if you are familiar with the Shape Up. Who knows what the Shape Up is? Nobody's using Shape Up in this company. Ah, there is someone. Okay, one. So I will explain. It's a Kanban-based agile approach, let's say, and you are just have a pool of testers and pool of team in a tribe is in Launchpad, and you are creating the mission. And you need to develop some initiatives. So you just take some developers, some testers, create a separate team, and they are focusing only on the mission, nothing else. And the rest of the people who are not on the mission, you can have parallel mission, of course, who are not in the mission, they are in the Launchpad and they are focusing on the maintenance and so on. So the people are rotating still between the missions. After they finish the mission, they are, for example, for a few time in a Launchpad, right? So it's quite an interesting. It's being a little bit better than with using the standard Scrum. So we are experimenting. This is wonderful again on Rohlik. I know it looks like some propagation of Rohlik, but it's not. I just want to, you have the context, right, of the company. It's fantastic that Rohlik is not afraid about experimenting, right? And we have in QA our own experiment to shift from the traditional to the shift left approach. CI/CD, this is again, I've never met it in corporate style companies, but we have 20 deployments a day to production. It's, yeah, I saw it, it's unbelievable. Maybe you work in similar companies, you know, the startups when the situation is similar, but my experience was like corporate style. So for me, it was a unbelievable change to go from the company when you are planning your release 1 month, and then you deploy to have something like this, 20 deployments a day. You have no chance to as a QA to just catch all the developers, to just catch all the testing in this velocity, right? So this is also the reason why we need to change our traditional approach of QA to something a little bit more effective. Another things you, in the meantime, read in the presentation, so I will not talk about it. Just a few information regarding the stack in our QA. We are still using the Selenium for automation. I know it's not trendy, it's not sexy to use the Selenium. I've heard that the Cypress is the, or robot framework is the tools you had to use. Well, we had a big discussion regarding the Selenium, and we think that still for our solution, when we need to cover not only the, let's say, GUI test, you know, front-end test, but also the back-end ones, and cover also the warehouse domain, where the processes are really complex, and you need to have the back-end automation testing on a really high level. We simply found that we can't use anything else. So we have the Selenium, we have the Selenite, we are using Appium for our mobile farm. By the way, we changed from the browser stack. You know, if you want to test on the mobile devices, you need to have your own mobile farm, or you need to buy some tool. We had a browser stack. Currently, we have in the server something about 40 mobile handsets. So we have our own mobile farm. We use Selenoid as a browser farm, and so on, and so on, and so on. It's not interesting. You read it. We use Elver for reporting for automation tests. It's the crucial. We have an X-ray as a test case management, and also we report the results of the tests which are being executed in automation to the X-ray, right? And of course, we have a Slack notification. Every result goes to the Slack notification, to the channels where we have, let's say, also the developers. So even the developer knows what's the result of the test cases. Okay, so this was the introduction. And now let's start with the topic itself. I know I spent almost, how much time? Oh my God, 15 minutes with the introduction. So now I had to skip some slides, maybe. What do you think is the main testing principle? No, what? Nobody knows? Good main testing. Okay, remember the ISTQB. There are some people from the ISTQB Czech and Slovak board, right? Or not? Yeah. So you need to know what's the main testing principle. Sorry? There are many. Okay, and what do you think? Okay, what do you think is the most important from your point of view? Early testing. Yeah, Jaro said it. Jaro said it. Of course, it's being learned in a primary tester school. It was the first thing I saw in 2004. What is the most important? Test as early as possible, right? I think everybody saw it, this type of chart, right? But your hands on the heart, do you act according to it? Does your company projects act according to this chart? Yes? Okay. Who else? Who else can say yes? Raise your hands. Okay, it looks like 1% of the audience, so it's not much. I fully understand why. I was on many projects, and also my project, being a test manager, delivered somewhere in the test stage and the implementation stage, right? Maybe in the last year or 2 years, you saw this image. It's the same. It's only the interpretation of the same image. And it tells you that the shift left, the buzzword, is only just test as early as possible. Focus on the early stages of the testing, right? So this is the shift left. But what to do for the transformation? How to transform your company, your QA? This is the question. And we raised this question 1 year ago in a Rohlik, because we were not able simply to add more resources to the testing, still adding more, and just do it like this in a traditional approach. So we discuss a lot with, for example, with the Profig company. They are focusing on software development and on a QA, and they are operating mainly in US, right? So they connect us with the companies from US, and we just simply ask, how you do the testing? Guess what? Nobody used the traditional model. Some of the companies even don't have any testing. The developers do the testing, right? And they are absolutely happy with this fact, right? So we were thinking about what to do. We want this also. We want to be cost effective, right? We want to have a better quality in production. We want to be really effective. How to transform? And after the discussion with the US companies, with the CTOs, we, let's say, not invented, but we write 5 or 6, it's been 6 main pillars, what to do when you want to transform from the traditional model to the shift left one. And the key of this presentation is to go step by step, pillar to pillar, and discuss with you. If you have any question during the presentation, just ask me, I'm not sure if I will be able to answer you, right? But I will try it, definitely. So the first pillar is about finding an ally. If you think you are able to change your company or your QA to the shift-left model only based on a QA, you are wrong. It's not about the change of the QA, it's about change of the whole development life cycle. It's about the change of the whole company approach to quality, to development, and to delivery itself. So the lowest level you need to find and have support from this level is your CTO or CIO, however you called it in your company. Without support of the CTO, you are not able to do anything. We discussed with the US companies. There was one CTO, and I asked him, who is the one who push to developers that they need to test also, that the unit test coverage must increase? And he said to me, I'm the one. So the CTO is the one who needs to push the change. If you will do it just on a QA side, you will not succeed, right? Second things, the second pillar. Again, we are talking about the test pyramid, right? We all know what is the good shape of the pyramid. We all know that unit test is something what the developer needs to do. And again, I'm asking you, who knows in your company about the developers who really do the unit test? You will raise your hand, I know. Okay, a lot. Great. It looks like 50%, so that's great. That's a great result. So far as I was on the project, I don't think that the developers did it, or they just write some unit tests just to have some unit test coverage. But was the unit test quality? No. So most of the project I have been, the ice cream anti-pattern was used. You have almost none unit test, you have almost none integration test, and then some miracle happen, and the testers goes to war and have 1,074,000 end-to-end tests, and in 1 year they are able to do all the quality, right? You need to definitely shift to this type of pyramid. It's not something new. Again, it's the main principle. You know, start testing as early as possible. It's the same, right? So unit test is definitely something you need to push to developers, right? It would be illusionary to think that business will give you, for example, 6 months to create some unit test coverage and increase it to 80%, for example. It's not necessary. It's good, but it's not necessary. You just want to add it one simple condition to the let's say development lifecycle and to the development delivery, that every new or changed code will have the unit test coverage on 80%. And through the time, your unit test coverage will increase, right? So it only you only need this one condition. You should have not focused only on unit test. You also should have focused on the integration test and let's say the semi-integration test. You know, so the developer on his side is able to do the integration test with mocked the second side. This is his responsibility of the developer, and he should do it also together with the unit test. The third thing developers should do to have the bottom of the pyramid correct is the contract testing. This is something what is absolutely necessary in environments where the integration is really complex, right? So the contract testing. Again, I've never seen the company where the contract testing is functional, right? So this is the number 2. This is the pillar you need to implement before you will switch to another level. And the pillar number 3, from my point of view, is changing the mindset. I think Phil said it here, that it's about the soft skills, right? The change to quality engineering. Definitely, it's about changing the mindset. Last year, there was a really good presentation about deleting the column. For those one who have been there last year, if you imagine the Scrum board and the Kanban board, in the end, there is a testing column. And everybody expects that in this phase, the miracle happen, right? And you have a quality product. That's not true, of course. Testing is not responsible for the quality product. It doesn't make a sense. He just verifies how the product is good, right? What's the level of the quality? He do some verification in the end. But everybody expects that testing will save it, will save the product to be in a good quality. You need to push on the developers. You need to push on the whole team. The quality is responsibility for the whole team. And this is something you are not able to do from the QA. Your CTO needs to do it. Your agile coaches and Scrum Masters needs to do it. You need to change the developers that the developer will also take the handset mobile and will test the critical functions of the delivery he did before he give it to you, right, to the testing. This is something which cannot be done in 1 month. You just say, hey guys, change the mindset, and it is. No, absolutely. It's a really long-term thing, and some of your, let's say, colleagues will not be able to change the mindset because they are still stuck somewhere where developer just put the code on a test environment and close his eyes and give his legs on the table. Definitely not. So changing the mindset is the crucial thing you need to do in your company. And the CTO must help with it. You need to push also to the head of development. The fourth thing is the automation. Automation, right? It's the, again, buzzword. I started in 2004, and from 2005, I've heard that the manual testing will end because we have the automation. Yeah, that's right. From my point of view, now it's getting closer these days, and the manual testing will not be, will not be necessary. So automation is definitely the key point, and we are focusing a lot in Rohlik on automation. 1 year ago, we were stuck in this circle. The quality engineer was responsible for the outcome quality. So we were still making the waterfalls, we waiting for the developers to deliver, we do the testing and so on. That implies that we didn't have a time for investments into the automation, right? Only 20% of the team did automation. So we had some automated tests, but it were less or more stable. We had a lot of flaky tests. The developers didn't use the automation. And this implies we still need to do the manual testing. So we were completely stuck. We didn't know how to get out of this circle. Due to implementation of the second and third pillar I described, we were able to break the circle. The team is now responsible for the outcome quality, not the QA itself. And the quality is the same or better. So that's great. Just to implement the change of mindset and the change of pyramid pillar, right? That means that we are starting to give a sufficient amount of the investments into the automation, right? That means that currently we have some usable automated tests, right? Quite good. We also are able to do some experiments, not to have only the front-end test, but to have also the API tests, right? The quick ones you can put in a CI/CD pipelines, and the developer will have the reaction after a few minutes, right? And that means that we are now currently have the lower manual ratio of the tests. That's great, just by 2 things. It looks like it was an easy thing, but it was not. It takes 1 year, right? And we are still not in the end. It's a continuous process. we expect that it will take, for example, 2 or 3 years until we get there. But once we will be there, it will be great. So the number 4, it's automation. You need to focus on automation. Maybe your CEO is really rich, and he just give you, I don't know, 10 additional resources for the testing, so you will be able to do the automation. But I don't think so. CEOs doesn't like do that. Number 5, I hope. Yeah, it's number 5. It's wonderful that you have the automation test. It's really great. But if you are running your automation test manually, it's not so effective. You are still playing the ping pong, right? So the developer gives you the build, you will run your automation test, then you will write the defects into the Jira or somewhere. The developer will read it after he goes back from the lunch, right? And you are playing the ping pong. So it's not effective. The effective way is to run your automation test automatically, of course. What you need to do for it, from my opinion, of course, there's a lot of technical things. I have no idea about the DevOps solve it. But from my point of view, what you need to do is 3 things. You need to have a good subsetting and tags in a GitLab. You need to have a good triggering, and you need to target your set of tests, right? From the subsetting, what we did in Rohlik, we have tags in a GitLab that each service has its own impacted tests, right? So we are able, according to service, to execute the exact amount of the test cases. We also have a functionality-based tags. That means if the developer just changed the checkout, you are able not to play the whole set of the service tests, but only the feature, right? And it definitely makes a sense. And of course, we have some runnable tags. It's a standard, I think. You definitely need the triggering. So it's good that you are not running your automation tests manually, but to have it run as a scheduled version in a 6 a.m. in the morning, it also doesn't make much sense because the development simply doesn't wait for 6 a.m. in the morning. You need to react immediately. So you need to have your automated test triggered after some change with the service happen. Then you definitely need to run your automation test automatically. And the last thing is the targeting. A different set of tests will be done on a production, for example, after you deploy something to production. Maybe you do some automation tests. We do. A different set of tests will be run on a stage, let's say the pre-production environment, and absolutely different set of tests will be run in some test environment, standard integration one, and totally different set of tests will be run in a merge pipeline. You know, is the ad hoc created environment during the merge pipeline, which just you don't want to run your test after you deploy to test environment. You want to eliminate as much ping pong between the tester and the developer. So the best thing is to run your test in a merge pipeline that the developer simply is not able to build, is not able to deploy to the test environment, and he has the immediate response, what is wrong. He could fix it. So you have then, when he deployed to test, you have the probability that the functionality is okay. So this is about moving automation to pipeline, crucial thing from my point of view. 34 minutes, okay. And now the pillar number 6, it's the last pillar. Now you have time to eat the cherry on the cake. You implement all the 5 pillars, and now you will see that you have a much more time to focus on the things in the early stages. Right? You are able to be during the discussion in grooming, you are able to be during the discussion in the refinements, and you are able to ask the question the tester should ask during this design and analysis phase. The question typically starts with what if? What if the end user behave a little bit different than you expect? this is the crucial tasks and questions we have to ask the developers and the team, right? It's being underestimated, this discussion between the developers and the testers in the early stages. But you know what? The less expensive bug is the one who is not developed, right? So to eliminate the bugs, even if it's not coded, it's great. So do everything in this stage. And from my point of view, this is the target. This is how we want to move, how we want to shift due to the pillars I've just described. The 6 pillars, again. I think, and we also did, we tried and we failed. It's a normal learning process. You need to adjust and try again, right? You need to know when you are failing is the crucial thing. So you need some metrics. We in Rohlik have one key metrics. It's the absolute top priority. It's the number of incidents in the production. We don't measure or we don't judge our transformation according to another metrics, just this one, right? It's about the quality. This is what's going on. We started somewhere in August, September, something like this with the shift left. And you can see in the priority 1 and 2, we are better than we used to be. Maybe it's just a luck that it looks like this, but this is the real production data, right? We are better in priority number 1 and 2 in production. In all priority, we are less or more the same. So we are continuing. We are keeping with the transformation, moving forward, and hopefully in 1 year we'll be when we want it to be. We also have another metrics we are measuring. I don't know if you can see it. It's a wonderful tool. If I could recommend you one tool, if you have orgasm every time you see a beautiful chart, as me, this is the tool you want to have. It's the jellyfish. Do anybody know the jellyfish? Nobody knows the jellyfish. Okay, I will do an advertisement for this company because it's really nice. It connects data from the GitLab and with Jira. And now you have all the things you want to have. You are able to, let's say, really, it's a wonderful metrics. You can see you have a number of deployments and you are comparing the number of deployments to any other metrics. You have here some comparison regarding the other companies which are set as a benchmark. So you can see, you can set the targets for your developers, for your QA. There's something about 100 metrics regarding the speed, quality, effectivity, also the process one. So jellyfish definitely is something what you need to have, right? And the last slide in the end. Why I was talking about it, about I don't know how many, 40 minutes, oh my God. I think that the transformation is necessary. You definitely need to transform because in these ages, it's starting to be a much more dynamic than in the last 20 years. We have AI, and I'm pretty sure that in the next 5 years, there will be less defects on the test environment, simply because the coding defects or the defects with the backcourse coding will simply be decreased. So if you are still want to focus on let's say testing on a test environment manually and finding, let's say 70% of all bugs, which are the coding ones, then the AI will reduce it to minimum. So also the manual testing will be shrunken from my point of view, and that's the reason we need to move as a testers. We need to move to the left and start focusing not only on the manual testing and start focusing on the things that really matters and will be here after 5 years. Okay, that was it. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Now I'm gonna switch to question and answers. Hopefully the answers. Okay, 2 days ago I ordered 4 Oreo cookies but received just 3. What was the problem with the delivery process? Was it a software, hardware, or human issue? I am sad. Hello, David. Yeah. Okay. These things happen. The Oreo is really good, so I think that the courier just eat it and expect that you will not recognize it, because David, to buy 4 Oreos and want to eat everyone, that's really, how does it call it in English? In Czech, it's a prasarna, right? So I think 3 is enough for you. Yeah, these things just happen. You know, in a warehouse, in the fulfillment center, the process is really amazing. It's unbelievable. I think that I'm not a stupid one, but I need, for example, 1 month just to orient in the fulfillment center. It's really a hard work people are doing there. So, and the process is you need every time scan the barcode of the good, of the SKUs, scan the barcode of the bag, scan the barcode of the shelf where the food is stored, you know. So it's really hard work for the people in the warehouse. So, but definitely I think that we are doing the reclamation good, right? So we immediately get the free credits for next Oreo if you want to buy. Is that right? Is that right? Okay. We didn't ask for a photo of missing, for example, Oreo. Right? Okay. Is it effective to stay with Selenium? Future migration made us be more expensive. I've talked about it from my point of view, and well, I'm not an automation guru, right? I have people for being an automation guru, and the whole automation team discuss and give me a result, and that was that for our purposes, the Selenium is the best tool we can have. Also, the thing is that we are using Java, right? And our backend is Java. And these thing is quite a good argument to use the Selenium, right? So I know if the decision was wrong, then the migration will be a really terrible thing, because currently we have a lot of test cases, a lot of automation test cases. So it will be expensive, and I hope if somebody changes mind that I will not be in Rohlik, to be honest. I don't want this migration. Okay, Tomasz, how many environments does your code deploy to during the... I need to read it again. How many environments does your code deploy to during the CI/CD pipeline before it reaches prod environment? Okay. Currently, it's just... we have a developers environment, so it's the first one. The second one is test environment. The third one is the stage, and then it's the production. So currently 4 environment. The reason for the stage is due to we have on-prem test environment, and we have a GCP, Google Cloud, you know, production. So the stage serves just as a check that the differences between the on-prem and the Google Cloud are not, right? So this is just a real check of the deployment. So 4. Libor, do we have a time still? Yes, we do. Okay, continue. When dedicating a team to a new feature with ShapeUp, how do you ensure information about the new feature is shared with the rest of the team? It's a good question. It's being a problem every time the mission ends, because you need to do the know-how share and transition to the Launchpad people, which are doing the maintenance. So we are using the Confluence is the first thing. Every time the documentation from the mission have to be on a Confluence. And second thing, that we are doing the workshops, right? Nothing is better than just talk with your colleague or with your developer and share the knowledge. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. If you are not satisfied with my answer, please just kick me, and I will reply in some detailed form. How do you determine what part, if products, should be covered by automated tests, manual, or not tested at all? It's been a discussion with the developers, with the product owners, processing the risk of the functionality, the criticality of the functionality. And yeah, we are trying to have all critical, business critical processes covered by the automation tests. And this is the main. So whole regression and even the critical business processes are being covered with the automation test. I would lie to you if I tell that it's happening every time. No, we have a problem. We have some obstacles. Sometimes happening that we create a mission and we we were not able to do the automation, and then the launchpad needs to do the automation, and we are creating some technical debts. This shit's just happening sometimes, yeah, you just need to react and yeah, trying to fix the problem, trying to find the root cause, and yeah, be better next time. So yeah, not every time we are able to do the automation when we are developing something. Definitely not. But we are trying, right? How often do you have to revert the production deployments due to a critical bug that was overlooked as a result of the rapid rate of your deployments? Jellyfish, right? I have the answer for this question very easily. You can see on the image there was one metric, the deployments error ratio, and you could see 1.2%. So one occurrence from the 100, we are doing the revert because we overlook something. Alex, did you calculate potential ROI of test automation before starting the shift? I noticed the effort often does not worth the results because expenses are huge. Hey, we didn't do it. We didn't calculate the effort because we know that the automation works. So I persuade our CTO that we will not play this type of game about return of investment of the automation. And yeah, but also my CTO wants the proof that it's working. The automation is working good. So and the proof is easy. You just are reducing the manual testing, right? So currently we lower the ratio of the manual tests, also of the manual testers. If you want to work in a Rohlik, you have to be the full stack tester. You need to know how to do the automation. And also, in some cases, you need to do the manual test cases, of course. But yeah, we also reduced the number of testers a little bit on the manual position because they were no longer necessary. I'm sorry about that because I'm the supervisor, right? But it's a little bit business. You are not want to have a let's say useless technology or useless resources. And if you are trying to shrink your manual testing, then you need to have a different portfolio of the testers. So it's working, and we didn't calculate. Now it's the time? No, still no? Okay, all right. Okay, a lot of questions. I didn't expect it. Everyone says about how to transform to shift left, but what about why? Are there any clear identification if my team should use shift left approach? Well, I said it was the last slide. I think that if you want transform your QA, then you will have a problem after the development if AI will be let's say finished. I'm pretty sure that soon you will have a model. Well, one developer puts the code inside the model, the second one do it also, and there will be some check based on the models, based on the integrity of the code, and he will just self-heal all the code. He will ensure that the integration is working, and you will need to focus on the different types of bugs than the coding faults and integration faults. So for me, this was the reason. And why? You have three main, let's say, arguments to persuade your CTO that it makes sense. It's cost effective, it's the effectivity, and it's the quality. You are increasing quality, increasing effectivity of the testing. You are stop playing the ping pong with the developers, so it's much more effective. And that means it's cost effective also. So this is the whys.
Okay, guys, the last question before time's up.
Okay, I just will say that we'll be with Mikko in the round tables. So, and also you can ask whatever question you want in the backstage. So just remember your questions. How are you using AI in testing, monitoring, test case creation? Next one. I will answer. We had some discussion. We had some research how to use it, and we found that the current models are not good for us. We are using, of course, AI in the development. We have a copilot, and this is something what really. And also we are okay. So in a QA, we are also using the copilot for the automation. So yeah, the copilot it's really effective tool. But for example, for the test case creation or something like this, we are not using. We just didn't find the good tool or good model. We are trying, as we were a punk company without any formalization, we are still a startup which are changing to somewhere. We don't have a massive formalization of the test cases, you know, to write the test analysis for a few weeks just to then test it. We just write the notes under the user story with some key principles we want to test. So, all right. So we are not using the AI for the test case creation. Okay, this was the last one.
Okay, this was the last one. Thank you everyone for your questions.
Thank you a lot.